This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, American jury, I hope you had a wonderful weekend. You know what, folks? When you live my life, there's no pause in the action. You know, I worked my tail off all week in my big federal court trial with Sarah Jones, and we nearly pulled it off. 8-2 our way on the first question, and on the by the way, see, if you don't get the first question, you don't even go to the second question. But the jury just skipped ahead just to kind of feel it out a little bit, and they were unable to come to an agreement on the first question. The second question, they were actually unanimous that they didn't think the original posting was done with malice. The only problem is that's a mistake, because they also acknowledged that when he refused to take it down, that was malice, and every republication of that was in fact another publication that would be done with malice. So clear that up, next jury, bingo, we win, and that's what's going to happen. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that we will win the retrial. And there's some things that we can do to make that case even stronger. And I'm going to just be very candid with you. I mean, I was candid with my client. She knew the strategy. I was candid with the media. Is that in light of the issues that arose after the whole libel and scandal, you know what we thought? We thought, well, I don't know what a jury's going to think. We even considered doing a focus group ourselves. But we decided, hey, let's just go down there, and I'm going to call you, and we're going to call him, and we're going to see what happens. And now, after doing a real, quote-unquote, focus group, we're going to go for it. So trial number 2, you're going to see some things that we're going to do differently. We'll call a witness to substantiate the lack of relationship that she had with Bengal players. We'll call her doctor, who we didn't want to bother this time go around. We're going to call some character witnesses. I mean, we can put this together based upon what this jury told us. And unlike, but those of you that think, well, yeah, but the defendant's finding out things too. Nah. We got the burden of proof. We're the plaintiffs. They can't control what we do and what we adjust. We can, them. It's a totally different ballgame. In other words, they can't stop us from proving defamation. We prove defamation. There's not a darn thing they can do about it. Same thing with malice. We're in control. We are in control. And they know it. It's even better than that, because Jack Wagon, Nick Ritchie, is broke. He's broke. At least he claims he's broke. So it's going to be interesting to see how he affords round 2, because you see, I'm crazy. I'm just crazy. I don't worry about money all the time. I look at the bigger picture, and the reality is I'm looking forward to trial number 2, where Nick Ritchie, I will promise you, is not. And by the way, it was 3 against 1, and I kicked their butt anyway. My closing argument was the best closing argument I've ever given. When it's transcribed in the next day or so, we'll put it up. You'll be able to see that. But I'm going to talk more about this. And of course, Geraldo. Me and Geraldo are buddies. He says he's going to buy me a beer, but I was on Geraldo on Saturday night. Sarah Jones called in as well as my client Heidi Heiser. And I want everybody to know, you want to stick around and listen to my whole show, because I'm going to tell you a story about this Jack Wagon lawyer named Keith Fred, who, I am not kidding you, why I'm doing television interviews outside the federal courthouse, verbally assaulted me, and it was clear he was ready to physically assault me. And you might want to say, well, why? Well, the reason why is he's Barry Larkin's lawyer, okay? And what's made him go berserk, and you talk about, you know what a lawyer's supposed to do? A lawyer is supposed to keep things under control for their client. That's what a lawyer's supposed to do. You're a fixer. You know what I'm saying? You're a fixer, especially if you're a lawyer for a professional athlete. Well, boy, did they step on it. I mean, they stepped on it. Why? Well, Heidi Heiser flies in to testify in the Sarah Jones case. You'll say, well, why Heidi Heiser all the way from Phoenix? Well, the reason why is Heidi Heiser, according to her, and I don't think there's a dispute really, had a long-term relationship with Barry Larkin. That's right, Barry Larkin, yours truly. And she had contacted the Dirty.com, just blowing some steam off without naming Barry's name. And what happens next is the Dirty.com engages with their lawyer, some guy named George Lopez. They tried to pull in Heidi Heiser into an extortion attempt to extort money from Barry Larkin. Well, apparently, allegedly, I think it was Keith Fred who contacts the FBI and all this good stuff and gets an investigation launched, gets everybody all riled up. Well, this Keith Fred overreacts. Heidi Heiser's in town to testify. And by the way, I'm representing her in that issue with the United States Attorney's Office. I want everybody to know this, okay? We don't care about Barry Larkin, and I don't want to hurt Barry Larkin. I got no, beef with Barry Larkin. But what does he do? He sends his lawyer to the federal courthouse steps, who gets in my face. He gets in my face. I am not kidding you. And I tell you right now, I use some great restraint, but I'm going to tell you this whole story. And I guess it's a major news story. I know Brian Hamrick interviewed Heidi Heiser. And you talk about a guy messing things up for his client. Because if I represented Barry Larkin, everything would be tightened down and quiet, and nobody'd know anything. Instead, good old Barry Larkin and Keith Fred have screwed up big time. And I got a message for Mr. Hall of Famer Barry Larkin. If you ever send Keith Fred to verbally assault me again, I'm laying him out. I mean, it took great restraint for me not to. It's incredible. And this guy's a lawyer on the shadows of the federal courthouse. You wouldn't believe it. I got television news camera and some video footage. Aren't iPhones great, Garrett? You can use iPhones to videotape lots of things. So anyway, folks, I'm going to tell you more about this, and we're going to cover all the news too. Traffic Girl being here we'll just call her Traffic Girl. Traffic Girl being here at 7 a.m. Jake, there's nothing going on, I bet.
There actually is.
Because it's raining. Do it quick.
Disabled vehicle, I-75 westbound, Erlanger, exit 185. Done.
Good job. This is Van Morrison, Brown-Eyed Girl, on a rainy Monday morning in Cincinnati. Sorry, Barry, you screwed up. Not me. You. Barry Larkin, Hall of Famer. God, his wife's going to be pissed off on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. I can't wait to tell that whole story. I mean, the whole story is incredible. I mean, it involves threats over the phone by Keith Fred to my client, defamation and slander of me. It involves a gesture of goodwill turned into something nasty. I mean, unbelievable. I tell you right now, Keith Fred is going to either have to have like a lot of, what should I say, the goods on Barry Larkin, or be such good friends, because if Barry Larkin doesn't fire Keith Fred for what he did, my God, terrible. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, in 1914, Beverly Hills, California, was incorporated. Beverly Hills. Have you been to Beverly Hills? I've never been to Beverly Hills.
I have been.
Well, since you're so slow on the cut, I'm going to go on to number 2.
I don't know if we...
1915, the 1915, United States Coast Guard is created. 1916, Louis D. Brandeis is nominated to the Supreme Court. He grew up in Louisville, Kentucky. The American Pro Football Association, National Football League was formed in 1922. And you know where? You know where? You know where? Canton, Ohio. That's why they have the Hall of Fame right there, folks. First U.S. state unemployment insurance was enacted in Wisconsin. 1935, Iceland became the first country to legalize abortion. Never thought Iceland would just be such a, social leader in a bad way. Barnaby Jones premiere. Remember old Barnaby Jones? I remember watching old Barnaby Jones. Good old Jed Clampett from Beverly Hillbillies. 1978 Fantasy Island premiere. Remember the plane, the plane, the plane. And then of course, in 1985, We Are the World was recorded. Remember We Are the World? All those superstars. Sing it. I think they had Michael Jackson. They had Kenny Rogers. They had them all. There's Kenny right there. In 1986, at 11:39 a.m., the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. Wow. Ronald Reagan did a great job as our president. What a difference. Reagan versus Obama. Do we have a clip of Ronald Reagan speaking?
Do we have that, Jake?
Well, we had it.
No, it was really long.
Yeah. I got to get some new producers, folks. You know what Jake just said? Do we got a clip of that? No, it was really long. Good God. Well, Jake, we could play a little bit of it, What do I pay you for? Listen to this. He even made it easy for you. William picks out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clips. And I think we had 2.
In Jake's defense, you got no defense for that. You're fired.
Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys is 33.
Oh, yes. We got this clip, baby.
I made sure we
No,
got
you
that
don't.
one.
No, you don't. By the way, I can hardly hear anything. You turn my earphones up. I can't hear a darn thing.
Now?
Yeah, I'm better. Oh, Backstreet
Oh,
Boys.
it's a classic tune.
I want it that way. I wrote the lyrics of this. Little known fact. And they're getting back together, guys or gals.
It's like the song.
Let's see a bunch of 30-year-old girls go out and go, remember when I loved you? Boy bands are gay. And I'm not saying that in like that negative gay way. It's just an expression, okay? They're gay.
Love boy bands.
No one, you know what? You're never going to get a date or a girlfriend the rest of your life. Women like men who are men. Not, I like boy. When you publicly announce that you like boy bands, you have written off all girls.
Listen to this. It's awesome.
All right, let me listen. Let me hear something really good there. Oh, it's gone. Okay, good. Sarah McLachlan, she's 45. We got a clip there that William picked up, but do we got it ready? No. How about Alan Alda, 77? Maybe something from old Alan Alda, Mr. Hawkeye from MASH?
MASH.
No.
What's MASH?
Yeah, see? I don't even know why I try. I don't even know why I try. If you would like to be a producer of my show, email me your resume at eric@ericdeters.com. Weather today, showers, high of 50. Tuesday, few showers, high of 64. Wednesday, rain. Folks, we're in a heat wave again. A heat wave. We ought to play the Feel Good song on Facebook. We ought to play that song too. That's a good song. Anything going on in traffic out there, Jake, on this slippery day? By the way, if you're wondering, Traffic Girl's going to start coming in at 7. And the reason being is there's usually nothing going on from 6 to 7, and we're pragmatic.
There's nothing.
There's nothing going on, says Jake. Nothing. Useless and interesting facts. Kentucky had 85,000 farms in 2011. 85,000 farms. Wow. You know what the 5 civilized tribes were? Do you know what they were?
Absolutely.
I love saying these names. Cherokee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, Creek, Seminole. I think the reason why is they were in the East when East was still getting settled. What else do we have? Kentucky has more miles of running water than any other state except Alaska. How do you like that? During World War II, the Battle of Verdun in 1916 resulted in over 1 million casualties in 10 months. What the hell's a battle taking 10 months to do? That's a whole freaking war. That's a whole freaking war. Abraham Lincoln loved animals and did not like hunting or killing them, even for food. He had several pets, including dogs, cats, and even a turkey.
Good man.
Maine is the only U.S. state with a one-symbol name. Montana has 3 times more cattle than people. There's a reason for that. Maine makes more toothpicks than any other U.S. state. What the hell did William do? Like find a book about states today?
Somebody looked at the Wikipedia page for Maine and Kentucky, I think.
Jeez.
Nice work, William.
The oldest public building in the U.S. is located in New Mexico. I don't believe that. In Nebraska, you can still find the tracks of wagons from over a century ago. Hey, William, who cares? Texas has the country's largest herd of white-tailed deer. There, if you want to go shoot a deer, go to Texas. There was a time when it was illegal to serve ice cream on top of cherry pie in Kansas. It's a stupid law. I thought it was going to read the other. I thought it was going to be it was illegal to put a cherry on top of a pie. That's when I was reading that. The graham cracker was named after the Presbyterian minister Reverend Sylvester Graham from Kansas. He was an advocate of eating whole wheat flour products. Well, good for you. I'm glad you got something named after you. Question of the day. Scientific advancements are required for future economic security. But is it really necessary to produce self-driving automobiles for American roadways? The answer is no. What the hell do you need a self-driving automobile for? You know what I'm saying? You don't. Check out our Sonnet 25 in Shakespeare today from the newsletter. It's pretty good. Let me see. What do we got here? Weekend box office. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, 19 millions. Mama, 12.9 million. What's Mama? You don't know?
Heard of
The
the
horror movie, I
either of these.
think.
Silver Linings, Playbook 10, Zero Dark 39, Parker 7. I wonder what Parker is good. I like Jason Statham. He's going to play me in the television series based on my life called John Stone. Either he or Hugh Jackman. The casting's not complete. In fact, we ought to put that question up. Should Jason Statham or Hugh Jackman play me as John Stone on television?
What about Jack Nicholson?
No. No. He's too freaking old and not hot enough to play me. See, I need somebody ruggedly handsome. Rob Lowe's too pretty. Jason Statham, perfect.
Bradley Cooper would probably play me in the
Yes,
movie.
he would play the producer that sucks and trying to find clips.
I'm a great producer. Who would play Jake? Jake, who's
It doesn't matter.
Who's your doppelganger?
It doesn't matter who plays Jake. Just pick somebody out of a hat.
Well, come on now, Jake.
You can get a black guy just to have a black guy on the show.
Yeah.
Let's get a black guy to play Jake. That's good. Let's have a black guy play Jake.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman is Slagle. This is Lindsey Buckingham Countdown on ClassX Radio. Folks, I'm going to tell the whole dirt later in the show on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Jake, do we have a little traffic update? And if you're wondering, Traffic Girl will be here at 7 a.m. Why? I don't know. She's putting on her makeup. I don't know.
Yeah, 50 in Lawrenceburg is shut down between the casino and 275. Tractor trailer versus the car. I guess the tractor trailer won.
It always does.
Yep.
Ann Curry, NBC has banned her from doing live reports on the network. She can only do pre-recorded segments, and she's fighting to be released from her contract to replace Anderson Cooper at CNN. Hey, CNN, the Bulldog would get you ratings through the freaking roof. Bulldog, where the hell's Abby Levine and Diga when I need them? They ought to be on this like green on grass. You know what? Don't you love the way they just regurgitate these same old jackwagons? Like Katie Couric. Ooh, we got an opening. Well, let's put Katie Couric on there. No, you should put the Bulldog on there. Jeez. Randy Quaid, the actor's been denied a request for permanent resident status by Canada. Athletes for Hope, the charity has severed ties with Lance Armstrong. Poor Lance. He does all this good despite all the bad. Everybody runs from him. That's the way it works in this world. You know, when you're on top, everybody loves you, and then when you crash, everybody says, Who? Who? Lance? Who? What? Armstrong, never heard of the guy. Kevin Costner, he won a SAG Award at Screen Actors Guild for Best Male Actor in a Television Series for Hatfields and McCoys. By the way, that was a great miniseries. I'm going to buy it. I got to wait for the price to come down a little bit more, and then I'm going to buy it. Then we'll watch it 16 times in a row. Speaking of the Screen Actors Guild's awards, the cast of Argo won Best Cast for Motion Picture. Daniel Day-Lewis won Best Performance by a Male Actor. In Lincoln, Tommy Lee Jones missed picking up the Outstanding Male Actor in a Supporting Role for Lincoln. He was sick. And Anne Hathaway was Outstanding Female Actor in a Supporting Role for Les Miserables. By the way, I referenced that movie in my closing on Thursday. It was very relevant.
Which one?
Les Miserables. I also read a poem from Shakespeare. Not a poem, but a bit of Shakespeare. That was also very relevant. Have you ever read or listened carefully to the Merchant of Venice trial, where Portia, who disguises herself as a male lawyer, speaks about mercy?
Of course, yeah, it's a great one of the classics.
I tell you, it might be my favorite Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Ranks right up there with my Caesar. There is a tide in the affairs of men, when taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all of our lives are bound in shallows and misery. We are at that tide, and we must take it as it serves, or we shall lose our venture.
Great line.
Are we going to do
Perfect line.
Are we going to start doing our reading?
Love that movie.
Our Shakespeare reading, our Shakespeare group on Wednesday night.
That's right. We were talking about that. We're going to get that together.
Did you invite those other guys?
Yeah, and they're big fans.
Good,
So
good.
Get at your house.
Wednesday night, folks. Shakespeare reading group for anybody who wants to join us.
The Deters house.
News Corp. By the way, Super Bowl. We're going to talk about Super Bowl coming up. I'm sitting here. We've been invited to a few Super Bowl parties. And my wife and I are sitting there on our couch last night watching TV, and I'm like, we got an 80-inch screen TV, fire in the fireplace, nice and peaceful. I looked at her and says, we're going to watch the Super Bowl here, aren't we? And she goes, yep. I said, good. O.J. Simpson owes the IRS in California combined $515,000. He doesn't care. He's in jail. I get these clients that were like being hounded with these medical bills, and they're on Social Security, disability, and I'm like, who cares? They can't do anything to you. What else do we have? Lindsay Lohan. James Dean said there are days when she would scream and yell and cry and refuse to come out. In porn, I'm used to working with professionals or courteous to others, but Lindsay was like a child lashing out. Wow. That's where she's playing that porn star. I think about that movie about Deep Throat. I think
Deep Throat, yeah.
I wonder if they actually do X-rated sex live. You know what? That's where Lindsay's headed.
Oh yeah.
Lindsay's headed.
Future in porno.
She's headed right there. Just done. Tiger Woods still leads at Torrey Pines. Go Tiger, Tiger. Lola Jones helped the U.S. team win gold at the World Championship combined bobsled skeleton team event in Switzerland.
Lolo.
Lolo.
She switches sports.
Yep.
Wins gold. That's how horrible women's sports are.
Good point. The average ticket price for Super Bowl, speaking of the Super Bowl, $2,993.28. One day I'll go to a Super Bowl, but not yet. Got to get rich first.
I don't think I'll ever care about Super Bowl.
Do you know what? I ought to be rich. I really should.
I thought you were.
No, I'm not. I ought to be rich. My problem is I spend too much money in growing my law office to be rich.
Kidding.
Do you know that I am the 22nd largest law firm now in the tri-state, but I'm the #1 plaintiffs and criminal focus practice law firm in the tri-state. I actually made the Cincinnati Business Courier list.
Nice.
Freaking.
22nd overall. How many law firms are there? Like hundreds?
Well, there's 10,000 lawyers in the extended tri-state area. You know what my goal is? My goal is represent half the people in companies. To represent all of them, there'd be conflicts of interest. So I want to represent half the people.
50% of all.
50%. When we come back, we're going to cover sports in more detail. This is Don McLean. We're not going to be able to play the whole song. Why? Because it's too freaking long. American Pie, and I'm sorry to remind you of Bill Erpenbeck because this was his favorite song, and I'm sorry I said that because now I've really... Scratch this song! Scratch this song! I just ruined it because everybody's going to think about Bill Erpenbeck. What's the next song we can play?
Jungle.
Let's play Jungle Love. The hell with American Pie because it reminds me of Bill Erpenbeck ruined that song for everybody in the tri-state. So let's go Jungle Love on ClassX Radio. How do you like that? Poetry coming from Steve Miller. You treat me like your ocean. You swim in my blood when it's warm. Profound. We live in a world of illusion where everything's peaches and cream. That is profound. I remember listening to this song when I was a young kid at White Castles. I was at Latin school waiting for my mom to pick me up at a basketball game. I would play this song over and over again at White Castles.
And you make fun of me for listening to the Backstreet Boys?
What? You compared Backstreet Boys to Ronald Reagan's Surly Bounds of Earth. Or whatever the heck you said.
Great lyrics.
State one line in
Backstreet.
Poetry. Backstreet Boys poetry. Traffic girls here. Traffic girls here.
Good morning.
Good morning, traffic
I
girl.
didn't get lost today.
All right, when we come back from this break, we'll get a report from Traffic Girl. Turn on the video. You're gonna love her outfit. Wait a minute, we got more time. That's an awful short song.
It was. Well, we went from a 9-minute to
I see. I see.
Crappy Steve Miller. Can we get a 2.5
Steve
minutes?
Miller, Jungle Love, Big Jet Airliner, Joker. Those songs are classics on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Channeling my little Muslim there.
It sounded more French. I was thinking you were going with
It
some
kind of was French. How you doing, Pierre? This is Pepe Le Pew for sports. Let's we get sports. Let's get traffic from Traffic Girl. I can be Inspector Clouseau. Can you give me some traffic Girl?
No, it looks good so far.
Okay, thank you very much. In sports Super Bowl, we already covered the prices, didn't we? Free agent third baseman Scott Rowland might join the Dodgers.
Now you sound like the guy from Unsolved Mysteries.
What do you think of the Pro Bowl? NFC 62, AFC 35.
I think they're going to get rid of that crappy game next year.
Kyle Rudolph. Should have been A.J. Green. He had 3 touchdowns. Cincinnati Cyclones hockey. Hockey. They won 4-2. Go Cyclones.
There's
The Super Bowl, if you don't know, is going to be this weekend. Baltimore, 13-6 versus San Francisco 49ers, 13-4-1. The game's going to be played in New Orleans, Louisiana, where Roger Goodell was burned in effigy on every block. The fires from the effigies are so bad that smoke's going everywhere. It's a real problem. We don't know what to do. CBS Television's carrying the game. Do you believe, Garrett, that Roger Goodell deserves being burnt in effigy on every block in New Orleans? I say yes.
Absolutely. They hate him down there.
How about the NBA? I watched Boston, Miami. Gosh darn it, Boston. Miami almost pulled it out.
I hate Boston. Kevin Garnett's a...
Double overtime. Hey, William, it was double overtime, not overtime. The Lakers beat Oklahoma City. You know the Lakers, they're going to be better. If they can just make the playoffs, they're going to get there. They got a lot of talent. They're a little old and long in the tooth, as they say.
They got too many guys that want the ball.
Yeah. I want the ball, man. I want the ball. Give me the ball.
Give me the rock.
You know,
That's something else.
ever since he dogged me I cannot stand our former colleague over at the other station, the sports guy.
Segment?
No. No.
Mac Allister?
No. The other guy. The super duper backup guy. The third on the depth chart for sports over there.
That was me.
No, you were fourth.
No?
Mo.
What, he dogged you?
He dogged me right out of the gate along. Every time I listen to Mo now, I just say, Mo, you suck.
I'm gonna have to pop off a little text message to Mo.
Michigan,
Kick his ass.
Indiana beat Michigan State 75-70. What else do we have in basketball yesterday? Nothing. By the way, over the weekend, UK survived at home against LSU.
Yeah.
Oh.
You like that?
I do.
UK's better than UC, aren't they? Traffic girl.
I love UK.
All
Yeah,
right.
of course you do.
All right.
UC didn't get a chance to play this weekend. Had a little time off. Be back out at Wednesday night.
Hey, let's do an oracle here for Campbell Ridge Elementary Principal Tony Masse, whatever his name is. It's Italian. Probably a mobster. Ran for 20. Just kidding there, Tony. Ran for 27 miles along US 27 to raise money for cancer research. He raised $5,000 in over 4 hours. How come you don't do that, Gary? Why don't you jog for some
Well, I
freaking
could
money?
do that. I just didn't. I don't have the time allotted to run 27 straight miles. I could easily do it in less time than that moron did it.
Westwood
And I could beat our traffic girl who thinks she's fast.
Glenway Avenue Red Lobster is closed.
Sure of it.
They closed the Red Lobster. Where are we going to eat our lobster? They say the staff members will be allowed to transfer their locations. Like, wow. They're going to jump all over that. Hey, man, I get to go to the Florence Red Lobster. hey, Bob. Hey, Bob, they're going to send me to Columbus Red Lobster, man. Oh, by the way, guess who else was on Sports Rock? Wildman Walker.
Oh, God.
He looked depressed.
I'm sure
He's
he is
depressing to
depressed.
listen to. Wildman, we're sorry, dude. 73-year-old woman charged with prostitution. Online ad posing as an escort named Lola. Lola. La 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 Lola.
Did she put her age on there?
No. She lied about her age like most women do. Jeez, women lie
Hot
about their age.
20-somethings.
You know, they look like they're 19, they're 13. Next thing you know, you're in jail.
That's not good.
Bad
Not what
situation.
you
Not
want.
good.
Can I see your driver's license, please?
Always ask for an ID.
Always ask for an ID. How about this? Bob Evans is being sued. Rezzer's Fine Foods of Oregon is suing, claiming the process for making macaroni and cheese and scalloped potatoes was stolen. Stolen. I thought it was my recipe they were using. You know what I mean?
Can you cook?
I can cook great, man. Let me tell you something. I make the best toast with cinnamon on it, and eggs, and pancakes with syrup on it that you'd ever want to have. I'm just good like that.
Yeah.
You know what? Some of this news and newsletter is not worthy of our show.
Is it time for William to get a replace him, maybe?
No. This is good for the newsletter, but it doesn't mean it makes the. Oh, did you hear about Barack Obama? He says, we do skeet shooting all the time. I want to see Jack Wagon Obama shooting skeets. Yeah, right.
You're
Oh, I have a-
a shooting.
this
You're
is-
a town hillbilly.
Yes, I did. With Bill Tobin, he had a little skeet thing, shooting those clay pigeons. I was like, I'm not kidding you, folks. I'm sitting there with my shotgun, shooting these skeets, and I'm thinking to myself, people do this. Why? I mean, wow. This is sport. Pull. 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 After 30 hours and 6 minutes of doing this, you're like, it's just stupid. You ever skeet shoot?
No. I've shot before.
Have you?
Yeah, beer bottles.
Beer
With my
bottles?
dad.
Line him up on the fence
Hey.
post.
Yeah, buddy.
Out back.
Hey, we
Exactly.
found
Out the back 40.
we found the right girl for Bulldog Nation. She shoots beer bottles with her dad. She is worthy of our show.
Sure did.
Any posters come in, Jake?
None have come in, but plenty are on their way.
We got
Right.
Well, I think-
13 or
I
something.
think,
right?
yeah, it's going to be like one day I'm going to get 26 posters.
I want to let you know that, sometimes somebody will go out, like a girl will go out with ugly girls, so they look prettier, and a guy will do the same thing. You guys are perfect for me feeling mature and old and wise.
Because we're so
Age,
mature.
age,
24.
21.
27.
average age here is 23. I'm 49. Good golly, I'm surrounded by youth.
Yeah.
Do you know that old age and treachery will always beat youth and inexperience? Go something like that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry, when we come back, we have more Radio Superbity. Until then, this is Deep Purple Smoke. Do your air guitar. Do your air guitar on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. How about that house on Waterworks Road in Newport blowing up? Wow.
What happened?
House blew up.
Why?
Natural gas. You got any air traffic, girl?
Nope. Looks good.
I like that. Don't try to sugarcoat it or anything. You just say it looks good. Let me cover some things over the weekend we might have missed. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit has ruled the president violated the Constitution last year by making 3 recess appointments for the National Labor Relations Board, bypassing the Senate while it was technically still in session. Could void hundreds and hundreds of appointments and decisions. And let me tell you something, folks. Guess how many he made? He made 32 appointments. Bush made 171. Clinton 139. When you hear these establishment Republican guys go after Obama for what he did, it's the same thing that they do. See, I hate them all. And I get to, you hear these senators on all the talk shows, John McCain talking about immigration, and Hillary Clinton talking about this. I can't stand them. And let me tell you what, folks, this is just the facts. None of these people, none of these so-called leaders of our country lead. You know what they do? They're just taken with the wind to the course of events wherever it takes them. Do they shape events? No. It's incredible. No greatness, no greatness. Burt Reynolds in ICU is expected to recover from severe dehydration. How old is Burt now? No! How's that laugh? I used to be able to do that laugh. Oh, I can't do it now. I had to laugh at Burt Reynolds. We ought to find Burt Reynolds' laugh, Jake.
Okay.
Angelina Jolie's reportedly pregnant with her 11th or 7th child. American Idol's being sued by blacks for racism.
How? They've had black winners. Ruben Studdard.
Yeah.
Sarah Palin's turned down an offer to renew her $1 million per contract. Yeah, right. I bet you they turned you down. A free agent linebacker, Aaron Mabin, out of Penn State, was with the Jets, was signed by the Bengals. Can't believe you missed that, Garrett.
I didn't miss that. He's a good player. He's one of the best recruits coming out of that draft, I remember. Kind of flopped, really.
Wow.
Missed some time with injuries. So yeah, I was all over it. Thanks.
How about this little story? A nearly fatal mistake marked Pablo Picasso's birth. The midwife, thinking he was stillborn, had abandoned him on a table, but his uncle, a cigar-smoking physician, revived him with a blast of needed smoke-filled air into his lungs. Wow, that explains a lot, doesn't it, about old Pablo Picasso? My God.
Went without oxygen for
Did you
15 minutes and then gets...
Did you about this big Facebook? If you are a sponsored story on Facebook, which apparently I was, you can fill out all these papers, read all this complicated crap, and guess what? Get $10! Yay! I'm going to do that.
Did you get that email from them?
No.
'Cause
haven't
I
gotten it.
did. I got some about
Jeez,
class
okay.
action.
Hey, I got a
$10. I deleted it.
I got a text here from our buddy Paul Mason. Paul
Yeah, what's Mason? He wants to book a guest, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Always
is.
coming to you when they need something.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell them to get bent,
Get bit. Nah.
pal?
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm gonna let Sarah Jones go do that. Sarah Jones.
Who's he wanting?
Come on, Sarah Jones.
Tracy?
To our listeners, Sarah Jones is passe now. She's done our traffic report.
Paul, he's using you.
No, I'm using
Being
them.
Used.
Willie and I use each other.
Who's he booking that for, Willie?
Yep,
You have Willie call you personally if he wants a guest.
he already has.
And I'll allow it. Don't do any other shows, so.
Okay. What else do we have? Did you see Obama and Hillary on 60 Minutes? Puke City. We do. Nobody. No. I'm going to miss her. Oh, boy, Joe Biden's mad because he's getting picked over by. You know what? Hillary Clinton. Did you see her tirade at the Senate hearings? Well, we've got to make it. Whatever happened doesn't make any difference anymore. I felt like saying, I'll tell you why it makes a difference. Because you didn't protect our people.
Doing a lot of fist pounding in the.
You know what? I went from can't standing her to respecting her to not standing her anymore. Her and her glasses. Hey, I know it's a scene issue. Hey, traffic girl, if you were a lesbian, would you do Hillary?
No.
I wouldn't think so.
I would.
If you were a lesbian.
If I was straight, I am straight, and I would do Hillary.
I want to tell you something. I wouldn't touch her with Wild Man Walker.
Oh, you're full of crap. You would too.
Would not. By the way, I would pay to see that, by the way. Wild Man and Hillary going at it? That would be hilarious.
Push Bill down again.
It's disgusting. Wild Man Walker.
Tune in every morning where we give you these theater of the mind visions of Wild Man Walker having sex with Hillary Clinton.
God. The worst ratings ever.
How about this? A new study's revealed that most U.S. workers are overqualified. 15% of taxi drivers have bachelor degrees. Well, you're an example. You got a bachelor's degree, don't you?
Yeah, look at me. I'm working here.
You're working here at Coke.
Yes.
Jake, you got a bachelor's degree?
Associate, so
Well,
maybe.
See what happens? You get an associate degree, you're stuck on the radio.
I'm in the same place as someone with a bachelor's.
That's a good
not
point.
bad.
That's true.
What about you, traffic girl? You got any college degrees?
I have a cosmetology license.
And look what happened to
Same
you.
level as all of us.
Look how great that worked out.
I graduated from high school at 15. I was 2 college degrees at 19. Law school at 21. I was the youngest lawyer in the state of Kentucky at the age of 21. I'm bragging. I shouldn't brag.
You shouldn't. Stay a little humble about this.
All right.
What'd you have? What'd you say? You had 2 high school degrees by the time you were 19?
No, I had
I need one of those.
college degrees. I had history and business. Do you know I framed my high school degree because that took a lot to make that sucker. Latin school was hell, man. It was hell. It was the longest 4 years of my life.
Law school easier?
Law school was easier. In fact, Carlo Wessels, Gary Beatrice, and Mark Wintersheimer and I used to hang out at the law library, study, and we talked all the time. We could have went from Latin school straight to law school, just skipped college. Because you get out of Latin school, you're like a machine. You're like a studying, trained, disciplined machine. I mean, let me give you an example.
And then
okay?
you go to college.
Let me give you an example. I mean, you go to Latin school, you know, you're taking German, you're taking Latin, trigonometry, chemistry, biology, European history, aesthetics, speech. I mean, the whole gambit of things. No gym there, you know. Gym. What are you talking about? Gym? What are you talking about? We don't have gym in Latin school.
Oh, you were
Here, go read a
prime
physics
child.
book. Go read a physics book. Chris Bowling, who later became a doctor, he's a local doctor, pediatrician. I went over to his house one time as a freshman, picked him up to go to a basketball game. He was reading the almanac. I said, what are you reading the almanac for? All just for fun. He was on Latin School's It's Academic team. He pressed those buttons. I know the answer because I've read an almanac. I used to go home and read the encyclopedias for fun. Actually, I wasn't, guys. I was not. I was like a normal kid. I did not read the almanac. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, don't we all have our own dreams? Our own dreams. But your dream may not be my dream, and my dream may not be your dream, but we all have dreams, and I say dream on by ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio, delivering radio superbity to you, the American jury, as you tune in and listen. I want to apologize to everyone out there for making you ill in your stomach and your minds. The thought of Wildman Walker and Hillary Clinton doing the horizontal bop. I really do apologize. Can we have a traffic report, please? Traffic girl.
Yes, in Cincinnati, the shoulder is blocked on the Norwood Lateral westbound at I-75, and there's an accident on US 50 east of Fairbanks Avenue.
Okay, I think it's a good time in the show to go to some of our email addresses, or text messages. Let me see here. I'm not going to read Jim Barona's. He's insulting. Bulldog Nation member John says, fired up live stream in office, new traffic girl smoking.
Oh, thank you.
I don't get people going on live.
How about that? You're a first creepy fan.
Bulldog Nation member, nah, he's a good guy. Bulldog Nation member Deanna. I am bisexual and a retired prostitute, and I would not mess with Hillary. That's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying?
Bisexual, retired prostitute.
Yep. Very much so.
Nice.
And Bob from Aurora threw up his lasagna and eggs thinking about Wildman Walker and Hillary. Did you find the bird laugh? I used to be able to do this. There you go, the bird laugh. Smokey and the Bandit, he was the best. I had the biggest crush on Sally Field back in the day.
Ew.
Now she's mean and nasty.
Is that the lady that played what's his wife?
Yeah, she kind of reminded me of my wife, you know, but now not anymore. Justified. Justified starts this Tuesday at 10 p.m. Justified. Spartacus started over the weekend. Shameless is on. Californication on Sunday night. House of Lies on Sunday night. Sunday night TV is awesome.
You know where they got Californication from, don't you?
Yes, from the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
That is correct.
We're going to play that. California, by the way, it's full of
Great
sex,
song.
sex, and sex.
What? Oh,
The show. Justified. Last night's episode was a hoot. A hoot. Justified, Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on the FX network. And that is, it's based on a U.S. Marshal down in Harlan County. We found that song that I requested yet?
Isn't that Granny Crippenstaples?
Granny Crippenstaple, you got a good memory.
Harlan?
That's right. And folks, if you're just tuning in, remember it's starting at 8 o'clock. I'm going to tell you some wonderful Geraldo Rivera, Sarah Jones, and Barry Larkin stories. Let me see. North Dakota oil boom, sinking healthcare providers. See, they're up there doing work and they're getting hurt and they don't have health insurance. First class postage rates went up to 46 cents. I'm going to just start having Chuck and Chad deliver our mail. To hell with postage stamps. In Baton Rouge, Louisiana, whole milk was priced between $4 and $6.89 per gallon. Barnes & Noble is set to close a third of its retail stores. I want to go buy a whole Barnes & Noble bookstore, just for the books. Tragedy, 245 people dead when a fireworks display inside a nightclub went awry. They were blocked, and it's like Beverly Hills Nightclub 2. Jeez. I wonder what Brazil's litigation laws are. I mean, I wonder if these people are allowed to get money.
Oh, I'm sure they are going to sue because...
Well, I don't know, can they? I mean, I don't know what the law is.
What is it,
Do you know what the law
country?
is? Do you know what the law is? You gotta know what the law is, Garrett.
Can't anybody sue anybody?
Depends. How about this? Remember they nailed Casey Anthony for lying? Well, the appeals court in Florida overturned those convictions based on double jeopardy.
Didn't I just hear she filed for bankruptcy?
Yeah, I heard that too.
I tell you what's crazy about her is why she hasn't posed naked and gotten rich. I don't know. Maybe that's why. By the way, Hillary Clinton is seeing double after a concussion. That's why she's wearing his glasses. You know what I say? At least she's seen something.
You want to play a little of Obama and Clinton on that? You talk about
Yes.
60 Minutes.
Yes. I gotta tell you, boy. Bull, Steve. In court of law. Oh, you're lying, sack of fat. Oh, we care deeply about America. Oh, is that why you racked up our debt to 16.5 trillion? Because you care deeply? Because you care deeply? I can take her down. She has no chance against me on the debate stage. None. None. Just like Obama came on and just wiped her out, she's going to say, who the hell was that Bulldog? Where the hell did the Bulldog come from? That's what Hillary's going to say. I am serious as a cardiac arrest. I am taking on Hillary in 2016. I'm going to take her down.
Can't wait to see that
Oh, it's
go
gonna be
down. I'm
great.
going to be right there with you on the campaign trail.
It's going to be
Hold
great.
on for
You're going to
president.
introduce me at every stop.
Yes.
And Shannon, you're going to sign autographs.
Okay.
Thank you. She'll bring them out.
Eye candy.
Yeah, you're going to bring out the young male voters for us. That's what we want. Those college kids, they're going to say, we're for the dog and traffic girl. Hey, you know what, Shannon? Why don't you just be my VP choice?
Okay, that would be
Good.
great.
Be good. Be a great debate with Hillary's VP choice.
The bulldog and traffic girl for president. Biden on Virginia Tech shooting. He said, oh, by the way, did you hear about Biden talking about, this was incredible. Let's follow this logic, okay? Biden is like anti-gun. He wants gun control, right? And he's talking about a shotgun. If you ever have an earthquake, a shotgun is what you need. A shotgun. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what a bozo. He says a shotgun is better to shoot somebody with than a semi-automatic weapon, but he wants to ban semi-automatic weapons while acknowledging you ought to really get a shotgun. Where's the freaking logic in that? Nobody pointed that out, by the way, except me. Thank God America's got the Bulldog on the watch. Georgia Senator Saxby Shambliss is not going to run again. Who freaking cares? How about this? Reese Priebus was reelected to the Republican National Committee chair. You know how you want to freaking lose a national election? Make your chairman a guy named Reese Priebus.
Reese Pluribus Unum.
Yeah, Reese Plubus Unum. That's what I'm talking about. Exxon took back the top post for most valuable company in the world. They took it back from Apple.
Woohoo! Completely
We're
back from the...
We're number one.
Maldives.
We're number one. We're number one. Uh-oh, uh-oh. According to the German Medical Science Journal, 35 soldiers in the Walk Battalion unit, because drills they perform stimulate mammograms, have begun to grow breasts. Repeated slapping of the rifles in the left side of their chest likely stimulates the glands to produce hormones, creating a one-sided boob effect. You know the worst thing about, one thing that's worse than having man boobs? Only having one male boob.
Yeah, I'd be switching,
Only one man boob.
I'd be switching arms.
Oh my God. That would be disgusting to have one man boob. And guess who's playing Joe Paterno in the movie? Al Pacino.
No, perfect choice.
Perfect choice.
Can't really go with him. I mean, that's got to be top of the list.
I gotta learn how to imitate Pacino, because he's my hero.
We don't have a... Do we have a Pacino poster?
We got a Pacino poster.
Where?
What's our song we got there, dude? We get a song. It's time for a
Right
song.
there.
Oh, this is all right.
Bro.
Bro.
Throw that out,
Hey,
bro.
bro. Hey, Fernando, you're listening pleasure, bro. 3 doors down. Kryptonite, like for Superman. Because Kryptonite would take down Superman on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, I now turn to Traffic Girl. Traffic Girl, what do we got?
There's an accident blocking the right lane on I-75 westbound at Ward's Corner. In Cincinnati, an accident blocking the shoulder on the Norwood Lateral westbound at I-75. And an accident also in Cincinnati on US 50 in front of Fairbanks Avenue.
Thank you very much. What do you all think about these women in combat, this issue of women in combat?
So be... I
I
mean,
think it's great.
let him... Shannon loves it. She's going to sign up. She's telling me she's going to go out and...
But if you want to, go for it.
As long as they
Not for
can
me.
physically do all the exact same things
Right.
as
There should be no issue.
physically and training and stuff,
They'll be fighting. They'll be fighting over who's with the hot woman in the foxhole. That's what I think. They'll say, I want to be with her. No, I want to be with her.
you think there'll be a lot of fooling around in the...
Yes, there'll be some fooling around, man. We don't want any fooling around. You know, you're out there getting shot at and may die. We don't want you fooling around.
Hey, these
You
people
know.
protect my ass. They better get it together out there.
I'm going to promote this more going forward, but I've been asked to speak. How do you like this? There is a big national convention coming to town about branding. And I've been asked to speak at this event.
Branding?
Mm-hmm. And it's called the Bulldog brand. Mhm.
Oh, that, I thought you meant like stick a hot
Oh my
cow's ass. And,
God, I'm gonna fire all you and get me some 40-plus-year-old people in there. Jeez, what am I gonna do? You know, there's some people that say, I heard a general talk about how, you know, when you're out there with men, it's embarrassing enough to have to relieve yourself. You know, for a woman, we can, I have to admit, when it comes to going to the bathroom, we can just whip it out, pee, do our thing. You poor
Right,
girls,
isn't it?
so much harder to do.
It's no fun camping sometimes.
Yeah, I would think
especially,
so.
oh, who camps anyway?
Hey, let's give
That's beside the point. What do you do at like a sporting event when it's just like, do girls piss all over the seat like guys do?
No,
Is it nasty in
not
there?
usually.
It gets pretty funky in a stadium.
You gotta poop in a stadium, it's bad luck.
Will you
don't want to.
will you all stop it?
Just being honest.
I want to give Oracle status to Boone County for passing a resolution against tolls. Dun 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 dun. On CBS on CBS Sunday Morning News, they had a special about Michael Bolton, who no longer has his locks. You know, he no longer has his hair, and I was thinking to myself, man, I didn't know his history. He was like a rocker. And then he started doing commercials, and then he started doing his own music that he used to write for others. And when you listen to this song, what do you think of this song, Traffic Girl?
Put you in the mood a little
When
bit.
a man loves a woman.
It's a good song.
It is?
It's a little cheesy.
I thought this was,
I think it's really cheesy. He's out on a golf tour. He's on a celebrity golf outing. They had all these old ladies, his old fans were like going gaga all over him.
It's a great song.
I have to admit, he's got good pipes. He did an opera. He did an opera, and the critics dogged him. You would have heard him sing this freaking opera. Man, he could do it.
God, I wish I could sing. One thing I could do, I wish I could sing.
Me too.
I wish I could too. Well, I actually can in a very monotone voice.
That's
When
not
a
singing, that's talking.
man loves a woman. Well, what you got to do is just be like Johnny Cash. You don't sing.
You just
When
talk.
a man loves a woman, he
True.
can't think of nothing else.
He made a career out of just
He made it
talking.
just talking. Johnny Cash, he didn't sing a note. You know who
You know
invented?
what, the better...
Yeah, buddy.
Oh God.
The one...
Ugh.
You know, this like, boy bands got real popular. I was in like 5th and 6th grade. And it was the cool thing as a guy to like hate it. You had to act like we
Yeah.
secretly loved it.
Loved it.
Did you like
Loved these
NSYNC or
songs.
Backstreet Boys better?
NSYNC was a little better.
I
but
liked NSYNC better too.
Backstreet Boys were number 2. 98 Degrees didn't really get into that much. You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
The only good thing that came out of boy bands is I have to admit I like Justin
Justin
Timberlake.
Timberlake's
Yeah.
a good dude.
For Super Bowl commercial, you know the Chimps? They're not doing it. Career Builder is not doing the Chimps commercial. It's an outrage. In the
What are you
Super
doing for
Bowl.
the Super Bowl? What time should I be over?
Don't come over. No one is invited to my house. I want to work. That's right. Work and watch the Super Bowl at home.
All right, I'll be at 6.
How about that Butler County woman killed in that train crash? 55-year-old Sharon Bennett was killed. She failed to yield to a moving train. Sad story. By the way, you mentioned Casey Anthony, traffic girl, being bankrupt. You're right. Claimed $792,000 in liabilities and $1,200 in assets. How'd that happen? How about this? Inkster Police, Michigan, say a
It's
third
not a shame. Glad she's
Yeah,
broke.
me
say a
too.
third grader brought a loaded 9mm to Daly Elementary School. He said he brought it for protection to scare bullies.
You know, I don't blame the kid.
I
Good
think-
for him.
I think it's funny, man. He's like, man, you ain't gonna
Enough of
mess
this
with me.
crap.
You ain't gonna pick on me any mo. No mo.
Man, I was the biggest bully in school. Thank you, Jim.
Were you really?
Oh, I picked on kids.
I helped the kids out.
Jeez, oh. Jeez, oh.
Hey, Jim from Verona, get a frickin' life, moron. God bless. Does he just text you one after the other?
Yeah, I'm going to ignore them for the rest of the day. He's overdoing it. He's overdoing it. Funeral procession goes through Burger King through drive-through for burgers. The procession for 88-year-old World War II veteran David Kime Jr. solemnly passed the drive-through, collecting a burger for each mourner on the way to the cemetery, who felt the lettuce on a hamburger was his way of eating healthy. Had a burger placed on top of his flag-draped coffin on his final resting place.
Hey, lived till he's 88 years old.
Yeah, why not,
Good
man?
for that old guy.
He eats burgers, man. He's a burger eater. How about Michael Bloomberg, the mayor of New York?
McDonald's.
He's donating $350 million to John Hopkins. How come he couldn't give me a mill for business purposes?
350 million?
300. I'll take $1 million for BulldogSmax.com, but no, he gives it to John Hopkins. I guess rich people
Hey, you know
can
what
give
I
their
would
money
do
where they want.
if I got $1 million right now?
What would you do if you had $1 million?
Quit your show.
You would?
Absolutely. I wouldn't finish this show right now today.
Just get up and leave.
Confident Jake is.
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
You might be fired before this show's over. Do we have a song?
yeah,
you talk about a
I
song?
didn't give it to you.
And you
I
written it down
thought-
on a piece of
I thought
paper,
we were
so
going to play the Michael Bolton.
Just so you all
the whole
know,
way.
is when we pick a song out, I have to know how many minutes it is, so I stop speaking for the appropriate time. But of course, Garrett dropping the ball time and time again.
Well, Cinderella?
Yeah, I love it. By the way, this is the best. I picked that this morning. This is the best ever cry your heart out if you got dumped song. So if you've recently been dumped, okay, or divorced, your wife left you, your girlfriend left you, turn the channel to someplace else for 4 minutes. This is the hardest core, tear-breaking song of all time on ClassX Radio. Bulldog on ClassX Radio. See, Tiger Woods, there's a rumor he's getting back together with his wife. What happens? He's freaking winning. All right, traffic girl, what do we got going on out there on the highways and byways and bridges and side roads in the tri-state?
There is an accident blocking the right lane on 275 westbound at Ward's Corner. A traffic light out at Race Street and West 9th. There's an accident on US 50, River Road east of Fairbanks Avenue. In Hamilton, an accident on Western Hills east of I-75 Central Avenue. And finally, an accident on Vine Street at Paddock Road.
How about this? Homeland Security is going to purchase 7,000 assault rifles to get ready. By the way, William said, and I kind of agree with William, Garrett. I hate to admit this, but I think I agree with William on this observation. You know, you made a comment about there that you secretly liked boy bands.
Yeah, that's right,
This is
William.
Dude, nobody secretly loved boy bands. Hillbilly Ohioans.
Oh.
Yes! Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
I'm a hillbilly
Yeah.
because I like a boy band.
Yes! No, you're actually a little sissy if you ask me
Sorry, I'm
to
not
like a boy
joking,
band.
freaking Keith. Fine, call me a sissy. Do not call me a hillbilly.
William,
I am the farthest thing from a hillbilly, William, you fat ass. Kick
William.
his ass later for me, too. Hillbilly.
Hey, how-
Call me a hillbilly.
how-
It's the biggest insult you could throw at me.
Hey, how can you pick the top 25 as USA Today did? Top 25 all-time Super Bowl commercials, and there's not one chimpanzee's commercial chosen. Not one. It's an outrage.
What's number one?
Michael Jordan and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny.
The 3 is Michael Jordan. I don't remember them from year to year. I mean, no commercial is that memorable for me.
Not even the Budweiser frogs?
I remember them. I mean, I remember the Bud.
I like the Budweiser.
I like
I don't even know if they were on there. These were the best.
Remember the I Love You Man Budweiser
I Love
or
You
Bud
Man.
Light?
Yeah,
that's Yeah.
Years
I
ago.
love you, man.
Maybe I do remember.
I love you, man. You can listen to us every morning on 88.9 and 89.1 FM ClassX Radio. You can also listen to ClassXRadio.com, ClassX Radio Live TuneIn Radio, and ClassX Radio app. You can also listen to the live video simulcast where you can see Traffic Girl on ClassX Radio, BulldogsNation.com, BulldogsNation.com. those of you that would like to watch our show instead of just listening to the show. So
By the way, people, we've gotten a lot of requests recently for me to take my shirt off and do a segment shirtless so that the women can all log in at the same time.
You know what we ought to do?
I'm not going to do that.
I have this dream, and I'm being
Trashy.
I came up with something that would be very original in radio, especially simulcast video. That we ought to have a studio. We need to knock out this wall. Sure, Roger Kaufman won't mind. And we ought to have a little stage where every once in a while we can perform skits, aka like Saturday Night Live. And one of the skits that we could do was the reenactment of the Chippendale tryouts. I'll play Patrick Swayze, and you can play Chris Farley.
I was thinking I could be one, maybe the Swayze.
No. Did you know Benjamin Franklin invented the rocking chair?
I did know that. I did. That's a great invention.
It is.
And Leonardo da Vinci, this is from the weekend, you missed him. Leonardo da Vinci could write with one hand and draw with the other at the same time.
Everybody
Wow.
knows that, William. Moron.
Celery has negative calories.
I knew that.
You need that?
I knew
Well,
that.
why don't we just eat celery and lose weight?
Yeah, you can
not a
just,
lot.
because eating it, chewing it, burns more
Burns
than...
more.
There are no words in the dictionary
I
that
love
rhyme
celery, I'm pretty
with
healthy.
orange, purple, and silver. Let's prove them wrong. Let's come up with some words that rhyme with orange, purple, and silver.
Orange, nurple,
Purple,
and
nurple.
dilver.
No, orange we could go with foreign, purple, slurp, pole, silver.
Nurple.
No wonder they don't use these words in
Purple, nurple.
lyrics.
Purple, nurple.
You're crazy, dude.
Bro.
Bruh.
Dude, you're crazy.
The weekend journal. I just want to use this as an. I just want to use this as an example. I say that the Wall Street Journal, the weekend edition, the Wall Street Journal, the review page is the best newspaper in the country. Here's what they had this weekend: Bill Gates might plan to fix the world's biggest problems. Great article about measuring things so you can judge progress. A story about the Neanderthals, why they went extinct and we didn't. A story about acrylic nails in the rifle range. What else do we have? I mean, just some great stuff. Blindness that touched perfection, while it feels like to be young, stubborn, stupid, and making unforgettable rock and roll. And story about the man who modernized the Navy. Never heard of this guy before. How to live well. The lives of Lady Lazarus. Why Hollywood gets cold feet. It's about them probably staying married. A craft chemist making over big beer. I mean, just great stuff that you can only get in the Wall Street Journal weekend. You gotta get the Wall Street Journal to be a sponsor of our show. You think that could happen?
I'll call. I got some friends up there in high places. Give them a call later.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury, when we come back, I'm going to give you the remarkable story of Heidi Heiser, Barry Larkin, Sarah Jones, the Dirty.com, the Bulldog, and Keith Fred on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Before I get going here, traffic girl, give us a traffic report.
There is a traffic light out on Ray Street and West 9th. In Cincinnati, an accident on US 50, River Road, east of Fairbanks Avenue. In Hamilton, an accident on Western Hills, east of I-75 Central Avenue. And an accident on Vine Street at Highway 4 and Paddock Road.
All right. You might, this may not shock you, but because I'm representing Sarah Jones, that when all across the country, when people get upset at the Dirty.com, they find me. And about a month ago, I received a communication from a Heidi Heiser, who lives in Arizona, who needed my assistance. And what it brought on that assistance is she was watching Nick Ritchie and his wife on a reality television show, and he was talking about his site and everything else. So she just logged on to a site and sent in a posting about that she had been involved with a Major League Baseball player for many years, and she kind of felt like him being elected to the Hall of Fame and everything else. It was just kind of, don't get me wrong, it was a no question about it, kind of a scorned woman text, but she kept the name anonymous. She did not use the name or anything else. Well, Nick Ritchie engaged in some communications along with his lawyer George Lopez with her, where they kind of pulled the name out from her. And the next thing she knew, she had an FBI agent knocking on her door because she was involved in an investigation by the FBI and the United States Attorney's Office that she had been part of some type of an extortion of Barry Larkin. Well, nothing was further from the truth. Nick Ritchie and his lawyer were involved in trying to extort money from Barry Larkin, who was this player. And the idea was, hey, we're not going to put up these posts if you pay us money, or we'll take them down if you pay us money. And I'm not kidding you. What Heidi told me, it was like they started out like $500,000 and they were down to like $200,000. And what makes matters even worse is this stupid lawyer actually had a contingency fee agreement on it. Can you imagine that? Extortion contingency fee agreements. So anyway, she had contacted me because she wanted some help out of the predicament that she got in, and I told her, I said, cooperate. So she's cooperated fully, and she's went and told the FBI and the United States Attorney in LA everything that she knows and everything that she knew. And Nick Ritchie is in some serious doo-doo, okay? Well, what prompted all of this was his attorney, Barry Larkin's attorney, Keith Fred, apparently had contacted the FBI and kind of got all this thing going, which was, to be in candor, stupid way to handle it, okay? So anyway, Heidi Heiser, the judge rules that she can testify as a rebuttal witness in our case. I fly her in here to testify first thing on Thursday morning, and based upon some arguments that the defense made, the judge changed his mind and she was not allowed to testify. But she was in town, okay? Well, while she's in town, she's saying, I'm sick and tired of this lawyer and everybody hounding me about this. And she goes, would anybody be interested in my story? And I said, well, I don't know. Talk to Brian Hamrick. He's right here covering this matter. So she did an extensive interview with Brian Hamrick, which I also got the videotape because my videographer was there. So I've got Brian Hamrick interviewing her too. So I think we'll probably go ahead and post it. This will be breaking national news. So anyway, that's that, okay? Now, nothing had come out, nothing had done anything, okay? So Sarah Jones's trial, we shift gears, back to Sarah Jones' trial. The jury deliberated Thursday for 4 hours, couldn't come to a decision. We would later find out that they were deadlocked 6-4 on the first question. Was it defamatory in Sarah's favor? After 3 or 4 more hours on Friday, they decided they were deadlocked completely, and it was 8-2 according to the foreman. And I talked to the foreman afterwards, who, by the way, said he wanted to give her a hug. And another juror, and since then, another juror has called me. And there's no question in my mind we'll win this second trial because the malice question we can overcome very easily by calling a web expert to kind of explain what makes a publication. So, at the conclusion of the trial, I'm talking to the foreman, I'm talking to the jury. Meanwhile, Fred Keith had contacted Heidi Heiser and defamed the hell out of me. Not only that, tortiously interfered with my relationship with her and trying to get her to fire me, just trash the hell out of me, so forth and so on. What is really funny about it is he told her I had been disbarred, which wasn't true, and I was a lousy lawyer, da-da-da. And what is so hysterical is Heidi Heiser was in the courtroom the last day of the trial, watched me in action, including what was the best closing argument I have ever given. At the conclusion of the trial, Heidi Heiser looks at me and says, "Man, am I glad you're my lawyer." So here's a guy trashing my ability, not realizing that my client saw firsthand my ability in the courtroom, okay? So she told him off. She tells me this news. I got a phone call from Keith Fred. I call Keith Fred. He's not in. I leave a message. I guess he can't afford a receptionist. I don't know. So meanwhile, Chuck Holbrook, as a peace offering, and Chad Fuller go over to his office to let him know that I'm in a trial and delivers a Bulldog Mafia t-shirt. Very friendly, tells the girls, hey, here's a Bulldog Mafia t-shirt. Eric Deters can't talk to you. After the trial, I'm talking to Channel 5 News. I'm interviewing Channel 5 News, and I look over to my right, and there's a big fat dude standing to my right, and he's holding a t-shirt, and he's just standing there like 10 feet from me. So I finish my interview, and I turn around, and here's this guy, and he walks up on the sidewalk at the federal courthouse, and he gets in my face. I mean, I could smell his bad breath. And he says, "What do you all want?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Why did this shirt get delivered?" By the way, I found out later he even called my office. I said, "Chuck just thought it'd be a nice gesture to deliver you," because he was down here to deliver you a shirt to tell you that I couldn't call you back because I was in court. And then he starts talking about Heidi Heiser, and it's clear as, he's so stupid, it's clear as hell. He's like trying to get me to say that we want money or something, you know, like we're part of this extortion thing. And I said, "Man, I don't want anything." And I says, "We're at the shadows of the federal courthouse, and you need to cool it." And he kept going. He had a little weird looking dude with him too. Well, what's so funny is 5 minutes earlier, Chuck and Chad had left. 5 minutes earlier, Chuck and Chad had left. So all this is going through my mind. I'm sitting there thinking, think of what Lakeisha would do. Lakeisha is my anger management counselor. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I got enrolled in anger management by virtue of my bar battle. I'd like to just deck this dude, but I'm not going to. When we come back, I will tell you the rest of this epic story. Until then, this is Flogging Molly, if I ever leave this world alive, on ClassX Radio.
One, down one.
So this is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. So continuing my story as Keith Fred is yelling at me. So I say, you know, I'm just going to go leave now. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. Anybody knows me knows it took all that I had. By the way, his stomach was so big he probably hasn't seen his willy whacker for many moons. So anyway, I go walking to my truck. As I'm walking to my truck, which is parked over by Tickets, the guy's walking 10 feet behind me, taunting me. Oh my God, the things that he said, I had to like go, "Oh, don't let it get to you, don't let it get to you. Just keep walking." So I walked all the way to the truck. He followed all the way to the truck. And then I realized, you know what, I wish I would have thought of this sooner. I get out my old iPhone, turn on the old camera, and as I drive down to the courthouse from the side little alley there, he's still going. And I videotaped this guy, which completely shows his demeanor. So I can prove that he was there. I can prove his demeanor and everything else. And his buddy's trying to control him because he's completely come unglued. And I know why he's come unglued. He's lost control of the situation, which is his own darn fault. So he actually even says to say that, and I can't wait to subpoena his girls in his office, because he said that Chuck had said, "You're going to be the Bulldog's bitch," you know, when he dropped off the shirt, which is totally BS and not true. So by this, he's already freaked out. He's already thinking to himself, "Uh-oh, I'm in trouble with what I just did here," you see. So Chuck has sent Barry Larkin a text that I'm sure made Barry Larkin's afternoon. But I just want to tell everybody, folks, you know, and by the way, I talked to Willie about Barry Larkin. I said, "Hey, Willie, what do you think about Barry Larkin?" He goes, "Eric, in 20 years, he ignored me. Ignored me. Couldn't get him on. Nothing. And I heard a lot of things about Barry Larkin being a regular jerk to everybody around. Kind of like our own Barry Bonds. See, what people don't realize about it, people that from a distance they see Barry Larkin, "Oh, Barry Larkin. Well, what's Barry Larkin really like?" I don't know. I'm serious. As I'm talking to you right now, I don't know what he's really like. There's people that don't know me that think bad things of me that aren't true. So maybe Barry Larkin's the most wonderful person in the world. All I know is I find it very weird that you would ignore Willie Cunningham from WLW for 20 freaking years. So anyway, Heidi Heiser, he has made the worst possible mistake you could make. He's pissed off the mistress. And Heidi Heiser wants to tell her story nationally. And I'm thinking to myself, duh, you know, Fred, you know, Keith Fred would have handled this differently. It would have never happened. But the guy, and by the way, another thing I keep thinking to myself, I don't know if Barry Larkin authorized Keith Fred to come up and verbally and almost physically assault me on the sidewalk of the federal courthouse in front of witnesses. I mean, I got the news people are my witnesses. I mean, it's incredible.
So this guy just goes on a little mini.
Oh my God, it was incredible. I'll show
Should
you.
have decked his ass.
Well, I wanted to.
Yeah.
I'll show you the video. So then I went on Geraldo on Friday night, or Saturday night, which was fun. And Chuck videotaped it. I showed that I took my gun with me. Cincinnati at 10 o'clock at night on Saturday night.
Where'd you go
on
take
Central
that?
Avenue, Channel 48, WCET. And we videotaped that, and it went great. Sarah Jones called in. Heidi Heiser was on. You want to go? If you want to see Heidi Heiser, I guess go online and you can watch the Geraldo from Saturday, and you'll see the segment with me and Sarah Jones and Heidi Heiser.
Is she hot?
And by the way, she's all right. I mean, she's not like a supermodel or anything, but she's not ugly.
I'll check it.
Heidi Heiser will be a witness now for us and go around too. That's another thing we get to do. Heidi Heiser will testify, and we will have a witness that the dirty.com is used as a... And here's what's so goofy, okay? Duh, Keith, Fred, and Barry Larkin. We were on the same team against the dirty.com.
Then they had to go.
Screwed it up. On some other legal matters, I'm going to be in court in Pendleton County tomorrow with Cassie Elfers. She is the coach that is accused of having sex with a 8th grader.
Volleyball coach, right?
Yeah.
That was volleyball coach.
Also, I had a huge victory on Friday. The Sanitation District 1, we sued for all these people that were flooded, bad flood, several years back. And the Court of Appeals in a published opinion ruled that we can sue them for nuisance, trespass, and inverse condemnation, which is outstanding news. So they don't have immunity for that. So folks, if you were flooded down in Covington, we have a huge victory. And we now can, well, they'll probably try to appeal to the Kentucky Supreme Court, but it's a huge victory for us, and it's going to uphold things. And I've sued the Sanitation District in some other cases, and I think that this will be another big part of that. Also, yesterday was the anniversary of the casino collapse, and we had named Friday the casino itself because based on what we know, they're all stalling. The people we've sued are stalling. The first court hearing in that is this afternoon at 1:30. It's a status conference, so I'll be in court at 1:30 representing those workers. And get this, Amy Wagner from Channel 5 News contacts me and says, hey, we'd like to talk to some of these casino workers. So I text her all my clients' names and numbers. Channel 5 does a story. Does Amy Wagner mention my name? No. It's like, okay, next time, just, thanks a lot for helping you get a story. I mean, don't call me because you need a story and me help you and you don't mention my name. Not cool at all. You know what I'm saying? A little scratch my back, scratch yours.
Yeah.
Don't forget, this Saturday at 9 o'clock, thereabouts, down at the Thompson House or the Southgate House, yours truly will be doing a comedy act unless I don't chicken out. I'm not going to chicken out.
You're going to chicken out.
I'm just messing around. I'm just teasing.
You're planting the seed that you're
I'm not
going to
chicken
out of this.
I am going to give comedic superbity. Comedic superbity.
Jake was asking. Jake, you want to get wasted and go to that?
Yep.
All right. Jake and I'll be.
Yeah, I'm always funnier when somebody's wasted.
Lots.
Isn't everyone?
Shane, you want to go with us?
Yeah, that sounds fun. What time is that?
9 o'clock.
9?
Yep. Get there at 8:30 because it's going to sell out.
I'll be there at 8:55. There'll be a table with my name on those little place cards.
By the way, you know what the worst state is considered the worst state in the country? Got this classification. Illinois. Barack Obama's. I mean, when you think about it, Obama and Rahm Emanuel and that whole Democratic machine, they mess up Illinois. They mess up the country. People are oblivious. I mean, I swear, people are blind. Blind, blind, blind. Don't you think, Trevi girl?
I agree.
So anyway, and by the way, everything I have said is the truth or an opinion based upon fact. None of it is defamation, libel, or slander. And you know what? If you like Barry Larkin, well, I'm sorry. Barry Larkin sent his bully lawyer to dress me down on a public sidewalk in front of the courthouse.
Hey, speaking of, I think Chuck just sent me the video, and now I'm watching you parallel park, which, by the way, you're terrible at.
I did a wonderful job of that parallel
Your
park.
tire kind of went over the curb here, and then let me see, you're getting out of the car now. Chuck, cut the fat on these videos, will you? I have 5 minutes to watch. All right, and there's your gun.
Yeah.
And now you're, oh, what is this, a commercial shoot? Now you're just waving your gun around the street.
I am not. I am not. Ladies and gentlemen, the
What did
American
you shoot
jury.
that guy for?
This is Blondie. He attacked me. The tide is high on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. I just want to announce to the world that we're very fortunate that we've got the best traffic reporter in the country.
Thank you.
All right, traffic girl Shannon, what do we got?
In Cincinnati, the left lane is blocked on I-75 southbound north of Mitchell Avenue. It's stop-and-go traffic from Shepherd Lane in Westchester. In Edgewood, an accident on Turkey Foot Road south of Dudley Pike. In Cincinnati, an accident on Wasson Road east of Edwards Road. In Hamilton, an accident on Highway 264 east of Rapid Run Pike. Also in Cincinnati, an accident on Burnett Avenue at Williams Howard Taft. An accident on Red Bank
William Howard
Expressway.
Taft?
Thank you. Just let it go.
Who's on William?
An accident on Red Bank Expressway west of US 50, Columbia Parkway. In Hamilton, an accident on Vine and Paddock.
She's so big.
And in Fort Mitchell, an accident on the exit ramp to
Get it
southbound
together,
Turkey
you
Foot.
hillbilly.
I'll be getting some phone calls tomorrow. My goodness. Today, all those accidents.
Come
It's
back
raining.
on Monday morning. Yeah, a few minor blips in your report, but
All pretty good.
all in
All
all.
in all,
Remember, you can get your tickets to my comedy show Saturday. Call the Thompson House. Hey, the City Beat is now doing the best of. The best of. So all you Bulldog Nation members, let's kick it in gear. I want to win best talk show host in the town and the best lawyer in town. Is that too much to ask? Yeah. I don't know if they got best producer or not. Best traffic
traffic
girl.
girl.
Best traffic girl. We want Shannon Cook to be voted out there now.
Shannon Cook, you don't spell it like
City Beat.
the,
Cook, C-O-K.
See, okay,
yeah,
like
how do you
cook,
spell it?
cook a breakfast.
Yeah,
It's not
K-O-C-H,
K-O-C-H.
no.
That'd be unfortunate.
Yeah. Anyway, City Beat, get out there and vote. Go online, City Beat, vote for me for the best lawyer and the best talk show host in town. Let's have some fun.
What about co-host? Can I
Bill
just be
Spry-
co-host?
Yeah, you can be co-host.
I'd
Bill
be
Spry,
crazy now.
Bill Spry, let's get the Class X Army working on that now. You know, I want to win.
Get
You know,
Melody- get Melody Moon on it.
last year, Tracy won. Tracy and Eddie. And I'm like, come on.
I think we're better than them.
We're so much better. And they're our buddies, but we're so much better than they
Love
are.
those guys.
Shallow.
Tracy's one of my
Funny.
heroes, but I've overpassed him.
Funny, but shallow. We're deep around here.
I love shallow. We have a good, I mean, they're both shallow. I'm the only one here that's shallow. You know, you kind of keep it together.
Thank you, Garrett.
Mix.
Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
mix.
Thank you for that endorsement
say anything.
of keeping it together. I got to go on a little mini rant here, folks. And
Here we go.
and it's kind of like this. I sit back and I watch the Republicans and I watch the Democrats and I watch them on the local level, I watch them on the national level, regional level, Barack Obama and the people that he picks for his cabinet. You know, the way John Boehner's apologizing that he shouldn't have backed off after the election. Hello? And, you know, when you think about what you got to go through in life, no matter what your career is, I mean, let's say, for example, you're a teacher. Think of all the people in authority in school administration and school board and state education that has control over your life that don't know what the hell they're freaking doing. If you're a law enforcement officer, same thing. On and on and on. Yesterday, I received a telephone call from a doctor. Now, you may not realize this, folks, but just because I file certain types of cases does not mean that I don't have friends and clients in those areas. You know why? Because when they have a problem within their own profession, who do they turn? Me. So I get this phone call from this doctor. And I'm going to meet with this doctor this week. And what this doctor tells me what's going on at this hospital is incredible. I mean incredible. And you know, you sit there and you think about this and you think to yourself, how does something so illegal happen in a hospital this day and age? Do they think that everybody that knows about these things, someone's not going to spill the beans? And it goes on and on and on. But I actually put it in my notebook on my iPhone over the weekend. I wanted to do a rant about incompetence in positions of authority and importance. Barack Obama, community organizer, socialist, liberal, incompetent, the President of the United States. Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. And it's not just the Democrats, it's the Republicans too. I have totally turned on Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan is a shallow, lightweight himself, professional politician that he's come to be proven to be. And I watch these guys, I'm like, what? You know, the cliches that they come up with, like John McCain talking about immigration yesterday, the illegal living in the shadows. That's going to be the new thing. The illegal immigrants living in the shadows, living in the shadows. We're going to hear living in the shadows over and over and over again as we talk about immigration. And they talk about, well, we haven't had any immigrants. Well, guess what? The Republicans and Democrats have both held authority and power for the last 20 years, sometimes controlling both houses from time to time. Do they solve any problems? Hell no. Hell no. I look at my own profession, my very own profession, and I look at the Kentucky Bar Council's office. And I'm thinking to myself, the prosecutors of me have never gone out and tried a jury trial, for example, ever. And I'm like, okay, they're supposed to know what it's like to practice law? I don't think so. And they're going to, I mean, and these are the lawyers for my profession. And I think there's a very overweight, very ugly, very, how should I say this, not very successful attorney who likes to think that she can be a legal analyst on a radio station around here. And the things that she said about the Sarah Jones case on Eddie and Tracy's show on Friday, I'm scratching my head thinking to myself, what? And this person actually said that, and I love Tracy. Tracy goes, you got a real problem with him, don't you? You know, is it jealousy? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, she says, well, Eric Deters doesn't do things the way lawyers are trained to do things. And I'm thinking to myself, no kidding! Maybe that's why everybody's hiring the Bulldog. Because the way lawyers, quote unquote, are trained to do things isn't very good. You know? I mean, I am such an anti-establishment, anti-authority person. It's incredible. But by the way, when I see people in leadership and authority do good things, I love it. For example, Carl Wicklund, he's on the Kenton County School Board. I have great respect for him. Some people in Boone County Fiscal Court, great respect for them. I got great respect for the tri-state judges. I'm serious. Federal and state judges, both sides of the river, great respect for them. There's a few I got issues with, but we have a great judiciary in the tri-state. Good appellate judges. Good Supreme Court judges in both states. But when you see, it's almost kind of like, I learned this in philosophy class, it's called the appeal to authority. Because somebody holds a position of authority, that therefore everything they say is supposed to be followed like gospel. No. Quote of the day from Emerson, you know, Ralph Waldo Emerson said that it's very important that good men do not follow bad laws too well. Well spoken. So there's my rant. A mild rant today. Incompetence in important positions is the downfall of America. Put me in charge, folks, of any position, and it'll be done right. This is Cutting Crew. I just died in your arms tonight. Well, I don't know. I was so in love, I died. Or, I don't know, I had a heart attack from the great horizontal bop we did. I don't know what the hell this song means on ClassX Radio. This is the Bulldog on ClassX Radio. Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury. Do you have anything new to report, or is it the same old traffic stuff?
It's the same.
Here, we're going to announce the traffic. There's accidents everywhere. You know, the Sarah Jones case is I'm so proud of the work that we did. Everybody thought she was going to go to jail. She didn't. And everybody thought that this case was a lost cause. It's not. And in fact, I know for a fact, based on talking to these jurors, that we're going to win this thing. I mean, we are going to win it. I mean, the things that we can do, they can't stop us from doing. And the transcript, I was so proud of the closing. And when we get the transcript of the closing today or tomorrow, I'm going to post the entire closing argument on my website, Facebook, and every place else, so you can read it. And unlike these trials that you watch on television, I mean, this is real. And it's, me, and you're going to see, what our case is all about. Because my closing summarizes the entire case. And when you read it, I think it'll convince you, oh, okay, I understand it now. Because this is the first jury to hear anything. Now, let me tell you something. And those lawyers that act like they're perfect are full of beans, because you make strategic decisions all the time that sometimes are wrong. And you sit there and say, gosh dang. And in this case, both of us, me and the lawyer for the other side, both made a strategic mistake. I thought men would be better jurors. He thought women would be. So I struck 3 women. He struck 3 men. Come to find out, the initial count, which was 6-4, was the male foreman and the 5 women. And then I started thinking about it, and I thought it through, and I thought, this is a site that just degrades women, bashes women. And when I talked to the juror, I said, well, does everybody kind of agree that this website is terrible? And they said 100%, all 10 of the jurors hated thedirty.com. But my strategic mistake, I should have picked women. And when he kicked off 3 men, if I would have kicked off 3 men, different outcome. But you know what? It's like you do a 3-day trial, just like a 6-day trial. For me to retry this case is easy to do. Now, I'm going to teach you something about persuasive argument. Now, Lincoln said, I love quoting Lincoln. Lincoln said, you find the path to a person's heart. You find the road to their logic. Now, what does that mean? What that means is that you got to find where somebody's emotions hit and then craft the logic to that emotion. Let me give you an example. All of these people that voted for Barack Obama, why? Well, that's where their heart was. There was no logical argument that was going to turn that unless you couch the argument within there. The other thing that's very important, and Jerry Spence wrote a book about this, that the winning argument is always love. Now, let me tell you what he's saying. What he's saying is this. I bashed the hell out of thedirty.com. But at the same time, I have to give the jury a reason, an emotional reason to want to vote in Sarah Jones's behavior. So after logically destroying the other side's case in my closing and in my rebuttal, see, I went first and last. After doing that, I had to strike the emotional chord. And it's always, you know what, if you quote things to just quote things, it doesn't work. I mean, you can't, like, in the middle of your argument, quote some Bible verse that has no relevance at all. So with Les Miserables being out there as a movie that's going on, I chose a reference to that to talk about humanity. You know, Sarah Jones had been beaten up, You know, it was time for a little humanity as it related to Sarah Jones. And then the last thing that I told the jury, I took from Shakespeare, which tied into Les Miserables. You want to read this part of Portia. Portia was the prosecutor of Shylock in The Merchant of Venice. And these words are just incredible. I'm going to go ahead and share them with you. You know what? Just make a mental note that you got this from both. If you are ever arguing for mercy, on whatever the reason, you're arguing for mercy on someone's behalf, these words are never bad to use. The quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven. Upon the place beneath it is twice blessed. It blesses him that gives and him that takes. Meaning that when you show mercy, it makes you feel good, it empowers you, it blesses you, and then the person receiving that mercy is blessed as well. It blesses both. And I asked the jury to do that. And those were my final words to the jury. But you got to make that emotional connection. Logic is not just enough. How you like that? You learn persuasive speaking by listening to the Bulldog on the mornings. Kind of elevates the show from your, gutter talk, Mr. Garrett.
Oh, thank you. That's what I mean. We got a good balance.
Traffic girl, any final words on traffic out there you want to tell everybody?
Be careful out there. In Cincinnati, the left lane is still blocked on I-75 southbound north of Mitchell Avenue. Is stop and go traffic from Shepherd Lane in Westchester.
Great advice, Shannon.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the American jury, everybody have a great day. You know, every dog has their day. I hope today is yours. Don't ever hire Keith Fred as a lawyer. Jeez. On ClassX Radio.